Hello, this is Avianna Torres, and to begin, I will start with my learning objective, which you can see displayed here in my lesson plan. My learning objective connects to my evaluation section because each contains the part of the product and the quantifier for the content standard that we have chosen. My learning objective should be used within my evaluation section by allowing students to choose one of the three products, which here is scrapbooks, manipulatives, or drawings that me and my co-teachers have provided, which will display what the students have each learned about the content standard and then be quantified by how much of that knowledge that we showed in our lesson plan is actually shown on the product that they decided to turn in. Since we use the apply level of Bloom's taxonomy, we will be looking at the third level of the iPedagogy wheel, which is where we have drawn our three products from. In An Effective and Agonizing Way to Learn, Backwards Design and New Teachers' Preparation for Planning Curriculum by Nelson Graff, I found it critical to understand backwards design. According to the article, the backwards design process starts with the end and the desired result. This made me understand that my lesson plan needs to start with the evaluation in order to understand what it is that me and my co-teachers want to teach our students and what exactly we want them to learn. This then requires me to go back and look at my learning objective in order to start planning out the evaluation section. From Chapter 6 of our textbook, Connecting Teachers, Students, and Standards, I found it critical for me to understand criterion reference testing, summative assessment, and assessment modification during this process because it would help me describe the assessment options that me and my co-teachers would be providing for our students that will measure their mastery of content. From this reading, I examined the type of assessment that will be given to our students. First to note is that we will not be comparing a student's performance with other students, which is known as norm-referenced tests. Instead, what we will be doing is measuring a student's performance based on specific criteria, which is known as criterion referenced test. And what will be tested in their evaluation is if they can list all 12 months, the 7 weekdays, and the number of days in each month in order. It is also important to note that this will be a summative assessment because it will be occurring at the end of a teaching learning experience or instructional unit with calendars. I also found it important to understand assessment modifications during this process because if any of my students needed it, I would have to know what accommodations to make for specific students in order for everyone to meet their goals. In the following chapter, I found it critical to take away that my co-teachers and I must know our content and students, as well as being able to share instructional responsibilities in the classroom during this process. When planning out the evaluation section, it is critical that I know the content beyond what is listed in the learning objective. I must have, if you see here in the article, deep and broad knowledge of the content in order to understand what I am asking of my students during their evaluation. I also believe that it is critical to know our students because when we plan our evaluation, we want to plan instruction that will connect our students with the content. And finally, it is critical to my understanding that we will share instructional responsibilities in the classroom during this process. When we are evaluating our students, we will need to share responsibilities since we are using the team teaching model. During this process, we have decided that each one of us will take charge of one of the product. This will allow us to not only split up the responsibilities during the evaluation process, but we will also be sharing the responsibility of getting each student to reach the goal of our learning objective. And that is my UDL Influence Reflection for this week's prompting questions. Thank you.